Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of BigCTV's Nintendo Switch Launch Special. My name is Chris, aka Big C, and the moment we've all been waiting for is finally here. That is right. I have the Nintendo Switch. So, I've also got a few other things that I will show as we go along, but it is time to unbox this little beauty and see what it looks like in person. So, I'm going to open this box up. Box, as you can see, before we actually open it up, it's pretty small, especially for a home console. It's pretty tiny. So let's see how this thing actually looks. So let me open it up. Alright, so it's got some nice information inside the box that shows you this is how you set up the system and all the different things that you might need to know about the Nintendo Switch. Apparently you need to plug it in to set it up, so I'm going to have to do that. So let's pull these things out and see what we've got. First we have the Joy-Con controllers. That's what these are. Let me pull these out. These things are real tiny. So these are the Joy-Cons. These are the detachable controllers that are utilized for the Nintendo Switch. I've got right Joy-Con and left Joy-Con. They have a number of different buttons. You have buttons on the top. You have like a trigger button. Each one has their own set of face buttons. This one is more like typical buttons. This one is kind of a split D-pad, but they work as split face buttons. They each have a thumbstick. This one has an IR sensor on it, or a share button. So apparently, eventually, you're going to be able to share different things on the system. Like you'll be able to share video and snapshots and whatnot. And then this one has a home button. You've also got additional buttons inside the actual controllers, as well as ways to snap on the controllers to the system. So pretty cool. Alright, this is the console. So let me pull this thing out. This is the Nintendo Switch. So if you look at it, it's pretty small. It's about the size of like an e-reader. Maybe, yeah, it's about the size of like a Kindle. Small little thing. Let me try to attach these real quick. So, apparently how you slide the controllers on is there's a little groove in here. You just snap them on like that. There's a little click. That's to make sure that they're snapped on. Yeah, it's pretty small, honestly. I did not expect it to be as small as it is. So again, watching the Joy-Con controllers go on the system, all the way down, click. That's what it looks like with both the Joy-Cons attached for the handheld mode. So if you look at the back of the console, you've got the kickstand. Oh man, that thing is flimsy. It's pretty cheap plastic. Also underneath there is where you're going to store your SD card. So if you are getting an expandable SD card for the Switch, it's going to be stored underneath where the kickstand is. So that's the system. That's what it looks like. Let me see what else is in the box. I've got instruction manual to figure out how to get started. I think that's pretty self-explanatory. The next little thing we got is HDMI cord, which is to be used for the dock. As I'm sure you saw when I was looking around at the system, the actual system does not have any kind of connection to a TV. So if you want to connect your Switch to a TV, you have to use the dock. So this is what you're going to connect to the dock, which you can then connect to a TV. Let's see. This is the AC adapter for the Switch. Let me pull out this just so you can see. I mean, it's an AC adapter. It's nothing really super impressive. Very thick box. So yeah, this is a pretty heavy duty one. Like, it is the same. It's a, I think it's a USB-C. So it is a it's the same kind of USB that you can use for like a cell phone, like especially an Android phone. But this box is made specifically so you can charge and play the Switch while you're getting everything, or while you're doing it at the same time. So I think having the bigger one, the official Nintendo USB, is probably a good move. I got a second one actually. I'm not going to unbox that because why? But I have one. Alright, so next is the Joy-Con grip. So if I wanted to play the Switch with my two Joy-Cons on a more of like a standard controller, you can slide them into the sides and then hold it like this. I think that's really wonky, honestly. The other thing that's disappointing is this grip does not charge anything. This is literally just there to hold your Joy-Con controllers. So you have to pay a separate, you have to buy a separate charge grip in order to charge your Joy-Cons while you're playing them. So that's another added cost. Let's see what we got here. We have Joy-Con straps. So that's what these are. So the idea behind these is you actually, if you are playing a game with the Joy-Cons detached, you actually snap them into this. It actually makes the Joy-Con a little bit bigger. It also gives you additional buttons. These buttons do exist on the Joy-Con, but they're really small and hard to use. This makes it a lot bigger. Let me give you an example to see how that actually looks. So let me unsnap this Joy-Con. Hang on. Here we go. Pulled it off. All right. So this is the right Joy-Con. So I'm going to snap it onto here. So here's the grip. Slide it down. Makes a clicking noise. So now the Joy-Con is a completely separate controller. You have a wrist strap. You can hold it like this. So that way it's a little bit more of a substantial controller, so to speak. Actually, it's quite a bit bigger. I don't know if you can really see the difference. Let me pull off the other one just so you can see how much smaller this thing is without the grip. Oh, in case you were wondering, in order to slide the Joy-Cons off the back of the Switch, there's actually a button right here. It's kind of dark so you can't see. You hold down that button and then slide upward. So it actually is very snappy. So this is what the Joy-Con right looks like with the grip on. This is what it looks like without. It's much smaller, much more cumbersome. So I definitely think if you plan on playing a game with just the Joy-Cons, you want to play it with the grip, because I think that's going to add a lot to it. Let me pull the grip off now. Assuming I can. There we go. Okay. So pull the grip off the Joy-Cons. Last thing in the box. The Joy-Con does not feel that flimsy. It actually feels pretty pretty sturdy, honestly. They're tiny. They're not large controllers, but there's a little bit of weight to them, which they better considering how much technology is supposedly in these things. I mean, they have motion abilities as well as HD rumble features and all this other stuff that's apparently in these little things. So they feel weighty. They don't feel super cheap, which you would expect considering how much these are. I mean, separately, a set of Joy-Cons is $80. So they better be good quality if you're going to charge that much for them. So yeah, they feel pretty good. I'm going to put them back on the actual Switch console because I'm going to need them to set up and that's how I'm going to have them for tomorrow when I'm actually going to play the system. I'm taking on a road trip tomorrow, so that will be my first hands-on with both the Switch and my first game, which is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I will definitely give, a question was asked about how it's going to look when I connect it to the TV. I will try that out probably tomorrow when I get home from my various things I'm doing. Because I definitely want to give it a proper hands-on to really find out, okay, what makes this system thrive and what works and what doesn't. So I'm definitely going to, really look into exactly how, what I can do to make this work. Zelda is the game. I actually have that, so I'm going to open that so you can see what it looks like. This is the dock for the Switch. That's everything that's in the box. So this is what the dock looks like. So if you look inside, you can't really see it. You can kind of see it glow. In order to dock the Switch, you put it into the dock like that. Now the Switch is docked. Beautiful. You can charge the Switch that way. Because you actually plug the AC adapter into the dock. That's also how you are going to be able to play your Switch on your TV. So I will test that out tomorrow when I get more of a hands-on period with the Switch. So that is literally everything that's inside the box. So I got the Switch, I got the Joy-Cons, the AC adapter, the non-charging grip, the two grips, or the two wrist straps, and the dock itself. If you want to see more on the dock, if you open that up, that's where your AC adapter plugs in. There's a USB port. I'm sure, I'm not really sure what you do with that, but I'm sure there's some reason. And then there's an HDMI, so that's where you plug in your HDMI. There's also two USB ports on the side right here. So this dock is definitely meant to plug extra stuff into. So it'll be interesting to see how that works. All right, so I got some other goodies that I want to unbox / check out. Some of them I have not seen yet. So I'm going to start by unboxing the game that everybody is going to be playing with the Nintendo Switch. And that, of course, is The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So this is what a Nintendo Switch box looks like for those who have not seen them yet. It's basically the same size as like a PSP box, short and skinny. So this is what your console games are going to look like now whenever you buy a Switch game. On the back, of course, they have a whole bunch of information about Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. You can play it in TV or handheld. It's only for one player. It is Pro Controller compatible, of course, so if you have a Pro Controller, you can use that, and it is Amiibo compatible, so there's special Amiibo you can purchase for Breath of the Wild, which I also have, and I will show you what that Amiibo looks like in a second. So let me open up this, just so you can see what a Switch game cartridge looks like. So that's one thing that I was curious about when I first saw the Switch and found out more information about it. It was like, okay, I know they're going back to cartridges, which is kind of odd. So what is a cartridge going to look like on the Switch? Well, now we know. Okay, so open this up. Ha! All right. Really nice inside of the box look. And then this is what this game is on. This tiny little thing. It basically looks like an SD card. It's even smaller than that. It's a different shape than something like a 3DS cartridge. It's pretty small. And I've heard, oddly enough, and I'm not sure I'm brave enough to try this yet. I might. We'll see. Apparently they put something into the plastic of Switch games where they're intentionally supposed to taste bad. to discourage children from trying, like putting them in their mouths. And I've heard several different reviewers attempt this, and they've confirmed it. I don't know if I want to actually do it. I might. We'll see. So if you really want me to do a taste test, quote unquote, of a Nintendo Switch game, please feel free to comment and let me know, and I might do it. But yeah, so that's what the Switch cartridge looks like. So you plug that into your Switch and you're good to go. Another really nice thing about if you get a physical copy of a Switch game is you do not need to install it, unlike most modern console games. So there's no installation. You just put in the cartridge into your Switch and you're good. You can run it off the cartridge. Nothing else needed, which is good because the Switch doesn't have a lot of internal memory. So there you go. All right, next thing I'm going to unbox for you is the Pro Controller. So I've always, ever since I heard about the Switch, I mean, it sounded cool, and the Joy-Con sound like they're pretty interesting, but honestly, I feel like if you're going to play a proper console game at home, you want to play with a proper controller. So this is the official Pro Controller for the Switch. So I'm going to open that up and give that a shot. You do not have to connect it to a TV. It is, what's really cool about the Switch, its main feature is that it is a handheld and a console. So you can unplug it from, like, literally, to plug it into your TV, you put it in the dock. And then it's plugged into your TV. If you want to take the game on the go, you pull it out of the dock. And the game will literally continue from where you were on the screen. So it's the whole idea is it's supposed to be kind of this interesting fusion of a proper console with a portable. So it's pretty cool stuff. Trying to peel these labels off the Pro Controller. Hold on. There we go. Got it. Okay. So let's open this up. Okay. Alright, so it comes, the Pro Controller, which is $70 for those who do not know. Switch stuff is not cheap, just FYI if you were concerned. Although this console is actually not that expensive. It's only $300, which is pretty cheap for a console and a handheld, but the accessories are not cheap. So be warned. So the Pro Controller comes with a charging cable. So you plug this into the dock and it allows you to charge your Pro Controller. And here's what it looks like. So this is the Pro Controller up close. It has kind of like a see-through plastic element to it, which is kind of cool. So it looks very similar to, obviously, the Wii U controller, the Wii U Pro Controller, but it has a little more weight to it. It doesn't feel like cheap plastic. The buttons feel really good on it. Just based on that, like the thumbsticks are nice and clicky. The shoulder buttons feel really good. Like this feels kind of like my all-time favorite video game controller, which is the Xbox One controller right here. This feels very similar to an Xbox One controller. So I think if you're looking for the more traditional console experience, this is the controller you're going to want to pick up. If you don't mind going for the more gimmicky, not more gimmicky, but like the cheaper version, which is the one that comes with the system, you can always use your grip and plug in your Joy-Cons, but this feels really good. So I'm looking forward to playing Breath of the Wild both on the handheld mode as well as at home on the Pro Controller. So I like the Pro Controller based on what I've seen of it so far, so that's pretty good. Trying to make sure I don't lose any of this, all these cords and whatnot, because I got so many cords lying around now. Alright, I only got two more things I want to show you, and then I'm going to call it a night, because I gotta be up early because I've got some important stuff, including my interview for Pandora World of Avatar tomorrow morning, so I want to make sure I get plenty of sleep and be ready to go for that. So, next I'm going to open up the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild Archer Amiibo, so you can see what that looks like. This was kind of an impulse buy. I do have some Nintendo Amiibo. I don't have a ton of them, but I do have a few. And the Breath of the Wild ones do look really cool, so I wanted to, get one. And I'm not really sure what they actually do in Breath of the Wild, but I'm really curious. So this is the Link Archer Amiibo. Apparently it does something special in Breath of the Wild. Again, no idea what, but it's a pretty cool looking Amiibo, so I will find out as I play Breath of the Wild. Another interesting thing about the Switch and its various controllers, for the Wii U, you had to scan an Amiibo using the IR sensor on the gamepad. The Switch, you actually have an IR sensor on both the Joy-Cons, on the left Joy-Con, as well as the Pro Controller has one. If you look right here, that is an IR sensor. So that you can actually scan Amiibo directly on your Pro Controller, so you don't have to pull out the Joy-Cons if you don't want to. So that's pretty interesting. Lastly, this was my little bonus giveaway thing that I got from GameStop for attending the midnight release of the Switch. And that is, of course, a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild poster. So, this is what the front looks like. It's got the cover art for the game, really nice. On the back, you have a really nice statuesque picture of Link with his bow and arrow. So, that is it. That's going to do it for this unboxing of the Nintendo Switch. Obviously, I've got to do some setup on it. I'm going to get it set up, ready to charging, and I'm not going to actually play anything tonight. I just want to get everything set up and ready to go so that tomorrow, when I am on the road and doing various things, I will be able to play Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild while I'm, doing what I do. So, for those of you who stayed up late and checked out my unboxing video, thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you were curious about some of the things going on with the Switch or what the Switch features are, I am going to give it plenty of hands-on time over the next week or so, and hopefully I will post some kind of a review. I don't know if it's going to be like a full proper review or just impressions, but I'm definitely going to give you my full impressions of how I feel about the Switch, both as a portable system, as a home console. I'm going to mess around with the tabletop mode, and of course I do have 1-2 Switch coming tomorrow via Amazon, so when that comes in, I plan on messing around with that and playing some of those stupid mini games because it looks fun. So that's going to do it for this live unboxing of all these Nintendo Switch things. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch. Both are at BigCTV. Follow me on social media on Facebook and Twitter at BigCTV Show. And if you want to help shape the future of BigCTV, become a Patreon patron, where you can help fund additional projects, more videos, all kinds of stuff, for as low as $1. So every little bit helps, and it helps me to create even more content for you, my fans. So thank you, everybody, and thank you for watching. And thank you for looking forward to those impressions. I look forward to giving them to you. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time on the next episode of the Nintendo Switch launch special. Bye!